Wow, that's all I could say to myself, because I just found out that I was going to be featured on ABC World News Tonight as their Person of the Week. And I remember when they were doing the interview for that segment, they asked me a question, kind of went like this. Hey, Coach, give us one thing that you want your players to get out of being in your program. I didn't hesitate. I said, I want them to learn how to be a piece of the puzzle. I want them to learn how to fit in on all the different teams they're going to be on throughout their entire life. You see, if you're a piece of the puzzle and you can fit in, you are, in fact, a quality teammate. And I don't care if you happen to be from a small manufacturing firm or you happen to be from a Fortune 500 company. In order for either of those teams to maximize what it is they're capable of doing, you have to have employees that are willing to cross the threshold, get out of their comfort zone, and become teammates. Because there is a difference. You see, teammates have a certain skill set that propel the team forward. In any situation, they take your team from being in the minor leagues to the major leagues. And from the major leagues to World Series champions.
My name's Kevin Kush. I'm a professional speaker, author, and trainer. And simply put, I help employees become teammates.
A piece of the puzzle accepts feedback. The only way you get better at what it is that you do is if somebody gives you feedback. You see, quality teammates have that ability to accept feedback. It doesn't bother them. Feedback's their friend. They have thick skin. I refer to it as rhino skin. Now, the rhinoceros is my favorite animal because he's just tough. He just sits there and grunts the whole time. Nothing bothers the rhino. 2-inch thick skin. And if you give me a whole team full of rhinos that have 2-inch thick skin and they can accept and implement feedback, you know what I say? Bring on the competition.
My background is really unique. I was a high school football coach for 30 years, and 21 of those years I worked at Boys Town with at-risk kids. So I literally worked with kids from across the country that came from troubled homes, and I molded those kids together into a team.
A piece of the puzzle is accountable. I'm going to define accountability for you. It's real simple, my terms. Do your job, don't make excuses, and don't blame others. Do your job. What's your job? Be a champion of what it is you do. Don't worry about the person down the hall and what they're doing. Don't make excuses. If you haven't figured it out yet, everybody messes up. When you do, a quality teammate accepts it and they move on. And lastly, don't blame others. Because when you blame others, you've taken a teammate and you have chucked them right under the bus. And you've done tremendous damage to team culture and environment.
My approach to team building is to hit the core of the problem, which is building teammates. A lot of people say, well, are you a team builder? Not really, I'm a teammate builder. And by building teammates, you've got to start at the core with the individual. And when those individuals exhibit characteristics of a quality teammate, then the team piece just falls into place.
Early on in my coaching career, I had the opportunity to work with a very special individual. This individual was the most selfless player I've ever been around. He came into the coach's office the first day. He said, I've never played football before. I'm not very good. But I just want to feel what it's like to run out on the field wearing a uniform. And I'll show up every day on time. I'll do everything that you coaches ask of me. And I'll cheer for my teammates as loud as I can. Wow. We went on that year. We won them all. Every single game, including the state title. And this individual, who was the least talented player on the entire team, had the most profound effect on our success and team culture by doing just what it was he was capable of doing. Being a quality teammate.
I get such a wide variety of groups that I deal with because everybody's productivity is directly related to having quality teammates. So I get the opportunity to work with people in the medical field, in the financial field, in education. So I work with everyone.
Kevin was so inspiring. The stories that he shared and the principles that he shared about leadership and teamwork are timeless, but also instantly applicable.
Kevin was inspiring as a coach. He's so on fire with the message. We have got to get his message implemented in our group.
Coach Kevin is the guy that you want when you want a real pro. His stories are great, his background is great, his history is great, and as he starts to relate some of the stories behind motivation and getting people to believe in themselves, you believe in yourself.
Coach Kevin just blew me away. His energy, his fire, his enthusiasm, I could totally see how he's a great coach, and not just with those boys, but in business too.
I want people to come away with not only being motivated and what I like to call having their tires pumped up, but they also come away with things of substance that can solve their team building problems.
The power of a personal note, it's incredible. I know this firsthand. A former player of mine from 25 years ago recently reached out in an email. And attached in that email was a picture of a handwritten note that I'd written his parents. He said in that email, "Coach, do you remember writing this?" When I looked down and I saw that, and I became a little bit emotional. I said to myself, absolutely, man, I remember this. You see, at the end of his senior year, he was such a special kid, I felt compelled to reach out and write his parents. And I told them in that note how proud they should be of their son. And I can only hope that my two little boys at home grow up to be half the man that they raised. He said in that email, "Coach, my parents are both deceased now. That note was with them their entire life on their nightstand. I am now going to pass that on to my son." You see, people, the power of a personal note is incredible. So I ask you, who is it? Who is it in your personal life or professional life that needs to have that handwritten note from you today? Because tomorrow is promised to no one.